As we go beyond the border tonight, the Salvation Army says it is trying to raise more than $70,000 to help cover shelter expenses. News 8's Brandon Lewis shows us how this shelter is trying to help mothers and young children who are waiting for their asylum hearings.
This is the Salvation Army's only shelter that's open for both women and children. It was operated by a partnership between both private enterprise, the state, local, and federal government. But now, the federal government has pulled their funding, leaving the Salvation Army in a lurch.
¿Alguien tiene una partecita de la máscara azul? Ah, abrir. Muy bien, abrir.
Every day, children at this Salvation Army shelter receive education and mental health care as they wait for their asylum hearing.
Vamos a poder armarlo más fácilmente, ¿de acuerdo? ¿Sí?
Their mothers sit nearby, like Matilde Morejon Morales, who came to the shelter last week with her 3 children.
Yo andaba en la calle buscando
I was on the
llegar,
street wandering around with my kids after being sent back from the United States.
For 2 days, she begged for food until the Salvation Army brought them to Casa de Esperanza, or House of Hope, where 3 meals a day are served.
There's a humanitarian crisis that's going on at our back door. I live in San Diego, right? So this is huge need for this type of assistance.
Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador spoke about the need during his rally in Tijuana 3 weeks ago. Back then, the U.S. and Mexico had just narrowly avoided a trade war. To avoid tariffs, Mexico agreed to take back more families, like the Moraleses, and pledged to provide more services. Instead, the Salvation Army says funding was cut off the shelter citywide without explanation.
It's really catastrophic. A lot of these types of shelters are going to either shut down or dramatically reduce the amount of services they can provide.
They hope the funding will resume in a year, but it's anyone's guess. In that time, about 1,000 women and children would have cycled through here, and hundreds more taken advantage of other Salvation Army services.
This is unfolding in 30 miles from our homes, right? And this need is a sincere and desperate need.
So much so that some families are using the time to plan a trip back.
Estoy agradecida con el
I'm very grateful. I have no way to pay them back, but God will bless them.
Sea como sea.
In the end, you're risking your life for just a dream.
We'll have more of her interview and the message that she has for others considering the journey coming up tomorrow.